to update the media on the achievements of the government and also have an interface with you. The rule is simple. This is just for the media. Only media practitioners are allowed to ask questions. For citizens, we have the Mansakunda and we have other avenues. So let us respect the rule of the game to make life easier, so that we know that all of you are working against deadlines, so that by midday you all go back to your editorial room and work on your report. So let's respect the rule. As usual, the Honorable Minister, Dr. Ismail Assise, will give us an update on government's activities and deliveries. Then we go into the thematic discussions of the day with our guys, our brothers and sisters from the Department of Physical Planning and Housing. Will update you and answer questions. Then we'll open the floor for questions and answers. As usual, introduce yourself, your media organizations, and your questions. So we should be done in an hour's time. And again, if you are not a media practitioner, please reserve your questions for the Mansakunda, which is open for all citizens. Or you can always ask us questions subsequently, because we are an open government. You can reach out to me, you can reach out to the minister or any senior government official to answer questions. Thank you very much. On that note, Honorable Minister, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone, members of the press here present today, our colleagues from the Department of Physical Planning with the DPS from the Ministry of Lands. Welcome you to this edition of the press conference, the Monday press conference. The DG of Information Services, Yahya Davis, and the DPS from the Ministry of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services. As usual, the Ministry of Information, in fulfillment of our mandate to provide authentic, accurate, relevant information to the public in a proactive manner, we organize monthly press conferences where we bring a sector, MDA, it could be a ministry, a department, or an agency, to come and interface with the media to answer relevant questions concerning a particular sector. It could be a burning issue like this one. It could be any other issue. The purpose is to ensure that we provide a platform where government can be held accountable, but also we can ensure to promote transparency and consolidation of our democracy. This is one of those press conferences. We have Department of Physical Planning. It's a burning issue. Members of the press are here, and like the chair said, it's a press conference, and the rules in a press conference are that only media personnel are allowed to ask questions. And I hope we'll follow that rule. Mbadi ngol mbal tentola mbal jela kon kake nyameng karu kari nka press conference ke nka journalist ol commande ina ening Mansakunda kakacha pour banko dingol salon Mansakunda e muno kuto bari Mansakunda fana salon banko dingol monela hajoti ani monela ela wasioti ñin dung press conference ol mon journalist ol drone ka ñinin karo ke bawo itolle kata ka kibaro ñin janjang ndola ministre dung kala fi mina wolon kaje ko banko dingol ning Mansakunda filo kan tare tima fengo famian ko Mansakunda bato somanda fotilo be banko dingol salon bari fana banko dingol fana mimu la wasioti anila hajo ni la sola fengol tim fana kasama Mansakunda kalon bari press conference wo mimben tima mialon ko wala kibarol sindi wolon kiba janjan naldi wolon journalist oldi woto bi mbal tentola mbal jela journalist o mil bijambi physical planning dung wolle bijambi kanaka nyinin karo ta journalist ol bulu ila doko bundala banko dingol fanan salon mone la doko ti mone betol fanan bulu ani be la doko ka nyameng walatna karu karing ka Mansakunda bunda kilen jube nke fenan purini banko dingol sikacha purun saji ko banko dingol ni Mansakunda kana filinyo so bar bi physical planning la bijang betonto lambe jayla ining DPS mi alon ko wala bata Ministry of Lands afanam bijam bi na do kunyol mi alon ko long Yahya Davis Department of Information Service afanam bijam bi ani DPS mi alon ko wala bata Ministry of Information afanam bijambi journalism bijambi mbal tentula mbal jela mbal ni mbarala albedo ko nyima minna na mola fanam be so kono mbal tentula mbal jela mbokay di lan dalal fi suñ benen press conference mi nga amne weer bu nekka ñu ngi ko far di def ndërñi press conference bi nak moy lan pour ñu gëna réro bu am digante nguur ak askan bi suba su ko defé nguur ci lu mu di nekka bes bu ne askan bi yek ko waye tamit askan bi li nga xamne moy sen jaxlé li nga xamne moy sen bébét nguur gi tamit yek ko réro bu am lolu moy saxal suñ démocratie motax wër bu ne dañoo ici bena banxasi government mu ñëw fi jakarlo ak media bi nak lu tax ñu am solo mo ñom ñoy tas xibaar gi press conference nag aduna si yëpp lii mooy loi bi mooy ne journaliste rek mooy laajte question mooy press conference kon te xam naa noonu lañ ko doxalee di gërëm nag ñi nga xam ne jógee physical planning parce que te ñoom lañ am ñoo jàkkaarloo askan bi si liggéey bu ñoo def naka lañ bu rafet di leen jaaj bu baax a baax dem seet li nga xam ne mooy border post bu ñu faa sampa ñu commission ko su fa jógee mu jaala dem Lower River Region dem Kiang dem seet yooyu mba falale ko president dung bi kibaro mi alongol bota masakuna me kibaro kontrol ngo sam president his excellency abe ta la tamangola aba commencer la North Bank wala ñomi lo wa ñomi opa ñomi kata fo joka dafa badibu sila do ko mi alon ko wolle biji badibu fannala je bi ka fo mi banni sali kany sula ba jubela be hakalang silo jubela boda post mi alon be farafanya ba fana yela la kutamalon pul mi alon ko sane alo Nambara jabe tambila saung aita Lower River Region aita Kiang sila doku mimbe je mialan ko lon sankandi silo ti karako Kiang West abe fanan jubela anin doku dol mialan ko wolle fanam je abe fanan jubela be inspect la sama woto sama president be tamala abe tamala kaje ko doko mialan ko wolle be kering man sakunda li a commencé doko ni na fanal be damen. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the only update we have from government which is of significance is that the president, His Excellency, tomorrow will take a tour of the country. He'll start at the North Bank region in SL to visit ongoing road works, starting with the Hakalang Road, to commission the border post in Farafenye, and also to go over to the Lower River region and inspect the Kiang West Road and other road construction works that are happening at the moment, just to update himself of the progress of those roads. So these are updates from the... we are not enemies, we are friends, we are family. Let us have nice discussions. We give the physical plan the chance to make their case and give the journalists the chance to ask questions.
Thank you so much, Honorable. You sum it up. We are not enemies, we are partners. This country belongs to all of us. We all have roles. We've seen, let's look at the example of the OIC. When the construction was taking place, people were complaining, but now people are happy. So who are not used to zebra crossing road are gradually, adapting and learning. So this is how development brings behavioral change. So our comfort zone that we were used to since 1965 is no longer tenable. So we must be able to adapt to the reality. And as a responsible government, some of these painful decisions that have been taken here and there are meant for the future, so that we can all relax and live a country that is better than where we found it. So on that note, I would like to invite DPS admin, Mr. Momodou Tal from the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs to update us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sasenkano. Honorable Minister. Okay, Honorable Minister, Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Director, Deputy Directors, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly observed. Today I'm going to read the report from the Salaji, the findings from the department. Okay, that's better, that's much better. I'll go back. The layout is purely residential layout, consisting of only residential plots and with some public spaces created to ensure the necessary amenities and services are made available within the reach of the inhabitants of the layout and the surrounding settlements. The public spaces created were allocated to the community of the layout, such as primary schools, cemeteries, nursery schools, community centers, and mosques, and also playgrounds. And the others to the relevant institutions, such as the police station, fire station, Nawek, Gamtel, market, car parks, etc. For their development and upkeep for the specific purposes they are created for, due to the inability to these custodians to develop most of the public spaces on time, they still remain empty and underdeveloped, thereby making them prone to encroachment and intrusion. So we come to the encroachments and illegal developments within the layouts, I think, which is a very important issue. Encroachments within the Salaji layouts have been a great challenge for the Ministry of Lands and Regional Government for quite a while now. Both the public spaces created serve as amenities and services within the layout, and the residential plots already allocated by government have not been spared. The legal tools that are guiding government to execute the demolitions exercise within these layouts are highlighted below. It is important that we pay attention to these laws. There are three. It's the State Lands Act 57, Cap 57.02, and the Land and Acquisition and Compensation Act, and the Fiscal Planning and Development Act. Government always uses the Land and Acquisition Act before it does anything, meaning in order for you to process and take over land, you need to acquire the land, compensate the relevant people, then you proceed. Compensate and proceed. So, the State Lands Act 57, Cap 5702 means all land referred to under the Section 4 and all lands which have been or may hereafter be acquired or by on behalf of the state for any public purpose or otherwise, however, and all such land designated by the minister under this act. The second one is the Land Acquisition and Compensation Act. Section 3 states that any land acquired under the provision of this act shall be designated as a State Lands Act and shall be administered under the provision of the State Lands Act. The third one is the Fiscal Planning and Development Control Act. In Section 23, subsection 1 and Section 24 states that any new development or change in the development in the designated area for which there is a development plan or a local plan shall be in accordance with the provisions of the plan for the area. And A person shall not carry out any development or any land subject to the provisions of this act unless the person has been issued with a development permit in respect of the land by a planning authority or the area in which the land is situated. So an independent investigation was conducted on the Salaji layout by the Gambia Police Force, and a report was prepared with recommendations which have been acknowledged by the ministry, and it have started implementing them. These recommendations are as follows. These are the recommendations from the findings. The Kenebaring Kabilos, whose lands were acquired for the creation of the layout to be compensated as required under the Land Acquisition and Compensation Act 5706 laws of the Gambia. The encroachments of the reserved lands, meaning public spaces, by some disgruntled people of the Kenebaring Kabilo to be demolished immediately. The intruders are charged with criminal trespass and forcefully entry, contrary to Section 289 of the Criminal Code Cap 10, Volume 3, Laws of the Gambia. 4. In a way to reduce land grabbing in Salaji, the state should enter into re-entry exercises for those who fail to honor the terms and conditions attached to their allocations. A recent study conducted revealed that the encroachments consist of complete and incomplete fences, buildings under the constructions, fully built structures yet to be inhabited, as well as structures fully built and inhabited. The encroachments within the layout are three main types: the public spaces, the individual plots, and the access blockage. Those are the three areas that we are concentrating in: the public spaces, the individual plots, and the access blockage that are highly been encroached. The encroachment within the layout are of three main types. Like I said, residential plots already allocated to allottees were sold by private individuals other than the persons allocated. This is also a result of the inability of the allottees to fully assess the plots allocated to them. 2. Public spaces reserved for specific purposes were demarcated by individuals and sold as residential plots by private individuals. Access roads were blocked and sold within the layout as residential plots by private individuals. The Ministry of Lands, through its technical departments, have made several interventions to curb these illegal developments from time of their inception through dialogue and traditional landowners field inspections to stop the illegal development, execution of demolitions, encroachments, and illegal developments. After numerous complaints lodged of the Ministry of Lands by allottees about the illegal developments of their allocated plots and public spaces reserved by other individuals, coupled with several interventions made by the Ministry of Lands and its departments to curb the encroachments, the ministry has now resorted to undesirable options to demolish all encroachments and illegal developments within the layouts. The Ministry of Lands had earlier issued a press informing the general public that anybody who is affected by the encroachment and is unable to access the plots allocated to them to submit a complaint to the Department of Lands and Survey, attaching a copy of their allocation letters or lease. The report has also been submitted to the ministry following an instruction from the ministry to its technical department to jointly conduct a recent study of the encroachments within the layout in consultations with the two Kabilos remaining to be compensated. The chief of the Kombo North, Alcalo of Sukuta, and some private individuals who has a hand in selling land in Salaji, these measures are such that an informed decision would be made pertaining to the subject. The Department of Fiscal Planning and Housing, being the institution responsible for the coordination of the demolition, has ensured to exhaust all the pre-demolition exercises procedures before embarking on the demolition exercise. These procedures entail the following. 1. A field inspection together with the surveyors from the Department of Lands and Surveys to make an inventory of all encroachments and the magnitude of the developments. 2. Serving of a demolition notice, Form 14, to the encroached properties and structures. Requesting for security assistance from the Gambia Police Force to escort the demolition team. A joint field inspection was conducted together with personnel from the Gambia Police Force to familiarize them with the ground situation in order to adequately prepare for the exercise. The demolition exercise has been scheduled to be in 2 phases due to the magnitude of the developments and the intensity of the exercise. The first phase, which is the demolition of the encroachments within the public spaces reserve, has already commenced, and its completion is pending the eviction of the buildings which are already inhabited. Upon successful completion of the first phase, the second phase, which would be the demolition of the encroachments of the individual plots already allocated and access roads blockage would commence accordingly. So currently we are commencing with the public spaces, those who have actually encroached within the public space that are meant for the inhabitants to use, like the churches, the schools, the football fields, the cemeteries. A copy of the layout plan highlighting all the public spaces affecting within both the Salaji layout proper and the extension are herewith attached for ease of reference. Note, there are many layouts created by government throughout the country, such as the Fajara layout, the Kanifing Industrial layout, the Kanifing Estate and Kanifing South layout, the Kotu layouts and Kotu institutional layouts, the Bijulo layout, Banjul Tobacco Road layout, the Banjul Kampama layout, the Coastal layout, Old Yundum layout, the Faji Kunda layout, the Latrikunda Sabiji layout, the Nemasu layout, Tanji layout, Brusubi layout, Sotokoi layout, Brikama layout, the Farafenye layout, and finally the Basse layout. Salaji is not the only government layout in which demolition is carried out. Demolition exercises have been recently carried out in Nemasu layout within the public spaces, such as what has been started in Salaji, and the exercise will continue in all the government layouts where the public spaces and the individual plots are illegally encroached upon. The other government layouts where demolitions will take place are Old Yudum layout, Coastal layout, and the Tanji layout and the Sotokoi layout. And this brings us to the end of the report, of the Salaji report. And I would like to thank you all for listening and taking note of some of the key areas that we've talked about, which I think is important, which is that the public spaces. I think these public spaces are meant for everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DPS. Any comment before we open the floor? Any additional input from DPS before we open the floor? Set for questions and answers now? I think you'll need to come here. Just okay. Okay. Have any supplementary comment before we?
I just wanted to say I'm here with the technical team, my colleagues from the Department of Fiscal Planning and Development Control as well. So they will be able to highlight some of your concerns in regards to the demolition exercises. I think most of you are very concerned. Like I said, the demolition exercises are based on the public spaces, which is based on the master plan that we have. And these are government layouts. And I think everybody will understand that public spaces are for everybody. And it will be illegal to be building on public spaces, which is meant for the usage of the whole community. Thank you very much.
Can we just summarize in the local language?
Yeah, I can help summarize in the local languages. And thank you. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Mbara bi kontona altonna kontongola comme jamla fula fi nyaming min kana honorable minister and DPS admin das Mr. Tal comme ika min fale wonde objective mi anko exercice mi anko no so bake kan Salaji comme ka bendo min keken nagere say nga nyaming gembe jang media be a capture mo wi wa fu kan physical plan de demolition la Salaji physical plan de demolition Salaji but mi demolition sabu e bole explain kan pour mbisa understand no madam demolition kekan tonya e kanto jamba do ko nyinke kam wadon to fana man ko min na wisti kata be mul kan téléphone be ndo nyamo allen to la ka place de bi ndo lo bakela for the interest of the government so amunke ko min ministre min fale man ko ñew jawati mbe bankol di fana noma mbe bankol nyata noma molin franco de affected ba fle ci hakatu aman ko to fana na amba nato di on ngani kata be mul kele bungol fo ko le bungol ko kele bungol boy comme nga benyami Salaji li atlo mi anko gofene a design pour kadi gamelo la mi anko dia qualified pour ces sindije kaka siduladi so silawdo nyin kono na do la so mi anko no la plan pour kaka na public usage comme na football filolu na salkiralu na jamolu dini fair lalu no student schoololu community central ni alonko an cemetery mi anko ndol bi alon ko in a society interest sinolo nyokan society whereby mo festival so no miss na jang gamejon dado bije ekatamo 2 kilometers 3 kilometers pour kata baade ko nyini ekatamo so distance mi anko ekata jamo nyini ko to have an access pour kata salkirato so walatina masakunda jele ko need lam pour kany lanso ke restore si jagele mon be sino la into isi mon fa no nyin keno la nyaadile so wala mon dafa no wulen county kata do la nyin kata ke boyndi so o reylo kamala mbafal be ala baraka
Baraka Baki. Bimu journalist la lumol. I have to say something.
Sañ ba kala nyameng ni nyinin karo soto mialon ko ilafta ka nyinin ka ari journalist ya nyinin ke o fana ha journalist o ba o luamu lualti ni ko me lualti nyala de benna sa ne nyinin karo soto yalon ka kumata le journalist o jibi mi be jamé journalist o long yaadi wala wasa nyinin ke anu fana nyinin karo nyin fana alsa keno kawo kanto anyinin karo kam manika kangoto wala surwa kango wala fula kawo nyinin karo ke kango minna ibe jabe lawo kangolla ala bara sai si nyinin karo
comme ministre fo nyame an journalist o bal dala alsa fo e ole nyinin karo nyinin ke manika kangoto surwa kangoto fula kangoto sawle kango jola kangoto karoni ko fen fo mu Gambia kangoto be kanyanta ja sa mbe bunda yele la man lafta nyinin karo kala ise tofo ibe media bunda mento ane lafta nyinin karo njumala nyinin karo we need to record your sound. No, like because it will interrupt. No, that is a floating mic. Take it. Let's follow the protocols at least. Yes, thank you.
I guess I'm very audible.
So, my mic is not coming.
Go ahead. You can hear. Hold the mic.
My name is Yahya. I work for the Fatu Network.
Ali, use the mic, my friend. What's wrong with you?
We need to capture.
The mic is not coming. Space Alright, my name is Wellingara from the Fatu Network. So, my question is, were there any prior notice given to the affected individuals? Because most of them complain that they were not given prior notice, and even if they were given prior notice, the notice was very short. My other question is, what plan does your office have to address the humanitarian and legal consequences of demolition on the affected families? Thank you.
Want to answer from the team?
you can come here
You can answer.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. I think that we have served them a notice. Several notices were served in this particular area. The last notice that we served was sometimes August in 2024, and the last one that was served was March 2025. That's what the notice that we are served for these people occupying these places.
So my next question was answered.
What was the next question?
The humanitarian and the legal compensations put in place by your office to the affected farmers.
Actually, we are a department and we are actually working under a ministry. So I believe the ministry will take over that responsibility with them.
But are there any plans? I understand that you are a department, but at least as a department, you work close in line with your office, right?
Mm-hmm.
To actually put up plans to put some compensation.
The DPS can help you answer that question, right? Sorry, I'm coming. Mbami fokan ala jabirodo. I nyinin kale fon na so safi ndatol nu. Natana ko so safi jele in 2024 August, and the last notice na min safi was this past March 2025. So I can nyinin ka fon fo amba the legal coming bongoli mbote je fon na ministry on the department of blosure je ban pour ka je mbolo ko kele nyaadi le. Natana ko ne PS be jane, then the PS will give you that feedback, inshallah.
Okay, good morning. My name is Amadou Dafe. Thank you, Honorable Minister, directors, DPS, and media houses. The question is very important pertaining to compensation. Here, the perspective we understand is the Land Acquisition and Compensation Act. Therefore, the minister is working with the two cabildos currently. Engagement is always been done. I think in 2 weeks ago, we met one of the cabildos from Sukuta. We learned that the process is going on to compensate them. And it is their right for them to be compensated. But we are very concerned and we are working with the two cabildos specially affected, correct? Coming I question o min ka walem na mo dolla department o wala ministry be mu nekké kan pour ka mol ci so nyabu mel yalo ne ko i affected Salaji je so ntol ye jero ke nyam comme loi fo nyam DPS ya ri janne na loi kilo to men ko land acquisition and compensation walem ni be keno tala mo lu nyata ci so nyabu la.
We're trying to come up with a resettlement action policy which will help in terms of helping people not to start continuously intruding within those waterways. So with the policy going on right now and the action plan, that will help in the future to settle all these problems.
Any more questions? The lady. In a media organization and in any language? Okay.
Assalamualaikum.
No. She was before you. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Samantha. I'm a reporter from the Standard newspaper. Since the affected residents are not dwelling into private property but government land, my question is, why would government not consider the hardship these people to face and let them stay instead of destroying their properties? And my second question is, why did the government fail to stop affected people from constructing structures that are in the first place? Surely, with all the security forces at its disposal, had the capacity to stop any constructions there from the beginning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. As it is stated in the report, I think I made mention of that during the transition in Mandinka. Actually, these are public spaces, and we all know the problem currently this country is facing. I have made mention of it here. If you go to settlement, still, people still struggle to have access to some of these social amenities. You see people will travel almost 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers to look for a cemetery, which is actually very inconvenient. If you go to the education standard, a child or a children should not travel more than 3 or 5 kilometers within their domain to have access to the social amenities. And your second question about stopping them at the inception of this development. The department has made several attempts to stop these people. And having this security to our domain, it requires certain procedures. we need to apply and get approval for the securities to come and join with us to do this exercise. Our technicians have been sent to this area to serve them in numerous occasions to a extent of catching them away. And there are also people who are serving their purposes. So in order to protect them, we need to follow the due process in order to apply what is required on the ground.
By virtue of what you say, there are still gaps. We will try and adjust on that area, especially on the monitoring side. Thank you.
Gentleman, name media organization.
Assalamu alaikum. Nadir Kondondake, Lami Fati Kerfatu. Nakashna bila fiscal parliament. Mmoja ni mambo kan katika tumi. Ikapeleka kimo dimola. Mo kan kila fiscal parliament. Hata mimi kwa nilda abena ndio kwa kiti. Ata boklo kamu mbol frankan. Alko damuza banet. Itumula frankan ko risa dawali nala bone na mena. Ata mo tu bisa kata kan mulu ka kude no tema ka waf timba ko kanja wala ene bol bosta ale ni kelen ale ko force ke kuma de ke sindi ko ale do dal bisa bulano bari bele ko na kacha kalon ale boja kala mo ni tala je ko ka do beso ko and ka do ko sen asa do la mo di wala sa ko di wala ne tu ka ne ko la ko de mo pelonji ne bi sa ko ne ha mo pelonji amon mo bakam sa ni bakko promo video sa dama ko extra panel dama ko minister of land so ko la alko masa ke mo je na me kan kana je mo do gara ko rena do ko kan ja adisa ganga ni ko do ya ni ko do ya ko ispenku no da ganga yes ko mulo ndele na ya de ko kana mo da kamari ani ni ga ko ali mo da hani ba bola
okay abaraka bagela nyinin karo ela tamone nyinin ga sen nyinin we got the background, just ask the question so that you know that. Just ask the question.
So okay.
No. That's your question.
Yeah, I'm not question for me.
That's your statement.
Okay. Nabora abaraka bagela ela nyinin karo la. I think namba nimba nyo lamoy kan aning hakilo lambo nyo faham la le. Coming DPS afala jande. Ala kam info ko fiscal plan ko la ke kenon sta ike wifi illegally or legally, you still have that opportunity. You go to the ministry, you ask for the information. If you have any evidence, 10 days before them, attend le ko ndla ka do fe ba fiscal plan ko le wifi ndla o ndla ka do fe ne mo fiscal plan ay tan yene bumbendi o nde pami do sorle ejen yene bumbendi attend the ministry la, the ministry will lodge an investigation on that aspect and they get back to you. Not still o me certify fanang ta police. We are a Gambian. You are a Gambian. Ila na fle dundi je. You understand? You are supposed to do the go to the police, tender your evidence before them, and they mount an investigation against it. Whoever is found wanting, the law will deal with you. That's clear.
Can I add on?
Yes.
Give him chance to elaborate on it.
Okay, Abaraka, comme il est ya for Jammeh, coming ownership. Ownership different way level. Yeah, the same question. Okay, your ownership ko for Jammeh coming 30 year physical planning. Physical planning buka 30 year determine no at the beginning. It buka determine no. Mostly akadati alkalo layer ni customary. You understand? Nakada layout olem Department of Lands and Survey wole ka allocate. So ntolka planning advice like a planning advice ko leke. So sign na kudo introduce 2018. La coordinate system o introduce le. Comme il can for ka feel le, tout le monde doit mistake. Il se dula sign me alone ko image ku ase sutiano risafo la. Do ko risafo but me a sign image ku. But kabit na coordinate system o introduce since 2018. Ne coordinate o pick damento akamunta mobile number ita na official to clearance o ikaje la coordinate o katara. Ni adundi rek akata GPS system o nyinto abe lowering damento. So wonyante advice lale foje inyata land use report soto la fo manya na ka soto. So ela ku sifal in 2018 karanta auto na coordinate system o introduced in 2018. And melbe jama mel ka land process okay ya lon ko clearance o kanyilla and coordinate le ka use pour ya o soto.
Second question, I'll call you more, I'll just like conversation. ni government ko ben ko ben jahala nyaaji be belandi ni dara kemo hansa karaji ka bodo ko tema ya kan ma bodo ma solo ta di tuda sa na ba ko ni mo ale ko mesina ale kam ko besina ma ko bi fa kilo sa de al ko ko besina
sorry, can you repeat your question?
We are saying
ni masakuna ko adesida ka meso ko ke ko ka bendi dida asmol jahan last time tala bendi press conference ko ministry ko body muslim ya ko ka bora kundu ka ngani ko tema so bi ni nga moy dan ko ali ka be dasiya ka ko ke compensate mile ke mo sandi e ko compensate ba ko la ko le compensate na compensate ko ke jesa
If I understand, you mentioned the berending issue, the demarcation of the border. And I think the information that there's no budget for that, I don't think that's an accurate information. Actually, we started working on it, and unfortunately, it came towards the end of the fiscal year. And that's the reason why we could not process, because most of the time, the people engaged, especially the vendors, were coming to closure of their accounts. So we could not engage and get into the next fiscal year. So, but currently, we have actually budgeted for that, and it's ready for implementation as soon as possible. The budget is already available.
Okay, ika kumo mem for important berending issue. I think it's a big concern to ministry. DPS Yahya Jammeh. Science could be work out ale coming ni ko kodi ko budget o mansodo coming akafole umumis information not. And one thing nyanta coming understand be bejang physical plan le. So physical plan na role take ka boundary demarcate omo another sister institutional wala la role mu wodi. So même form of physical plan fanam batandika mol me la functions long which ndol fonga ya discuss le nita more public awareness le la. Because fengo feng mol ka jele commune local government fengo be mu physical plan la manke fengo be mu physical plan dol man nyanto soto ka boundary demarcate na sister institution soto le memo department of lands and survey wala malta boundary la anin titles so wo fanam be jele kata ko be ke kanne a discuss na SMT tole pour gunjur ni branding ko tema so niko jusu nyabo je fana wobe question na maybe land so bandola role mu mendi kabin ye assignment odi wala ka boundary ni bondi pexol be data le pour boundary ni bondi so comme DPS Yahya Jammeh man sakunda ni be fengo fenkela e ka vendo so le invite nakata spendi chobeje e buka quota e damma ya spend e ka mo sabale invite woli nana woli yajibe jumala suitable ta men sa keno yota so tendeteng is a high priority at the Ministry of Local Government.
Next question? Any? If not, then follow up. Okay. You can ask and then after. How much time do we have?
Thank you. Again, many complain of the issues of alcalos, but my question is, what coordination exists between your office the local authorities when it comes to allocating or approving residential areas, lands. So the next question is, how does fiscal planning verify land ownership and ensure that construction only happens on a legal approved sites to avoid the point of demolition? So you can give it another chance. I will ask about the pivot house issue, where many actually allege that the lands were given by the physical planning. Thank you.
Okay, Abaraka, ela kili rokam, walem first. Ela question follow.
Coordination.
Memun do ning alkalo local authority ka doko get nyame. Niaji be since the indirect rule to abola jamano keta nyame. Aketa la coming in local authority lebe deal la direct of most of the process. Tati ya akadati alkalo le ya foye alkal kayto soto yena ntolina reporto dila ninga reporto dila nga official transfer dila ko de ibo murlo alkalo le ya kotenke ya authenticate alkalo ya tandiko abala sate wala to men tobe je wala tam alkalo fanan na nyantolem jannabe sign in kela ayta kenoto ay lo ay jejibe fo akamen sign fo mari le tamu fo tante so ni alkalo e fen sign me alone ko o mari tante wo fana mu kuma dodi but alkalo la responsible na boto le na chefo fana la doko menti wolem sate fulol tema akana alkal do kana ta sate do ta sign chefo yana aya authenticate wala ma aya approve so na kayti system atata nata ning alkalo ni chefo local authority ni wolle ka fenke ninga problem o fana soto ngani mol fana kumandile ko ni mo fulo dunta na jibe ko nying inyanta compromise la le si badi yankol ka fole alta chefo ya wala alta alkalo ya ni ma fono isitano district tribunal to ye chefo ya la kiti dingol kumandi kena ki wala ye kachala so tolla ko be ni local authority o lekal mbuka si office auto na ko be approve je
coming at escalating is important. We are government officials, but now given traditionally in the Gambia, the alcalos and the Kabilo hit. One most of these commercial when you go, they'll tell you this is our Bulunda. They know the history of their land more than we do. Because we only advise on the land use of the area. That's why clearly we tell you physical planning document will not determine your ownership. You still need to go further to obtain the ownership of the property you are applying for. We only advise you on the land use, and we give you the development permit after the completion of your ownership. So the alcalos and the Kabilo heads within the locality will determine your ownership at the grassroots.
Most of the time, this is actually done, from the onset, and then later the physical planning guys will just come and give you a permit. But now in this issue, in this current issue, there's always demolition. Some of these affected families already have approval from the physical planning, and also documents to show that they own the land.
I think we still need to make this clearly. The alcalos, these are irregularities. I think they are sitting here saying there are certain physical planning officers engaging in the translation of their documents. You understand? It also needs honesty in the aspect of dealing whatever you are doing. If the alcalo being the head of the village, don't give accurate information of whatever is happening, should not be the responsibility of physical planning. Our responsibility will be, we make sure you obtain the right ownership of the property before you develop it.
Next question.
But my second question is
No, sorry.
You've already
Yes.
I raised two questions.
Okay.
Which one? The second question is
lacking. So we are working on it, at least to meet the demand.
the issue of Igbo town, where residents of that area, especially in the wetlands, are like that physical planning where very quickly sold these places to them and allocated them building permits.
Yes, I think we are going out of the very purpose of this press briefing here. This is purely Salaji, and for Iwotan, we are aware of it, and we make sure we do whatever necessary is to be done.
In extension, like I said earlier, there are task force that are made to look into these affairs, even the Ivo town, the bypass, and all that. When the report comes out, you will have the opportunity to ask some of those questions again. Okay? Thank you.
Demand and then no, that one demand. Then after complete.
Okay, Assalamualaikum once again. Question of Mingasolo, maybe Flalom. First one, I'm within the Ministry of Local Government and Lands and Region Affairs. The question of Mingasolo, Walamu, Keno mi aloko Gaddafi mas, Nakalam the media come a case from that Puruka report, because of the Eyeafrica. And Dungalon Jamo always, Ila Keno Nimu Jama Beltate. Because community development on Monda, Gino, Manila, school or Madraso Minkakije. So, okay, no law to go away and for government can count the secondly, for government, Jamonda and in Madrasola, Bangkok and Madraso community service and community development, Katarwala, Londo and in Karoni, Kamon educate. So, second question flying up. Ministry of Lands and Religion Affairs. For a policy that sort of come, Kasarali Minkadi, Alcalo Name, you often the Imam, Nadon Imam, Kabun Play, Community Kono, Akawara, Cabrina, Squilio, Futusidol, Samalon Bankera, Keratana, and sometimes Sudo 3, Kekole, Puola. Nakam, the government is in Pakeneta, in last Fengo State House. Yes, Imam Ratib of Banjul. And Christian Council, the President, yes, I really don't do it. But other imams come in, Alcalo, and fall it often, profile and over Bank, because now it's well about them.
So, in regards to the other areas you're talking about, today is the presentation of the Salaji report, which we have exhausted intensively. in regards to the areas you talk area, the imams, that what I will allow like my honorable minister said, the Mansakuda, the minister, would actually deal with those kind of questions, definitely, as the head of the religious affairs. Thank you very much.
Yeah, let me answer. Hello? Okay, yen ñini kar do ke iko keno me alo ne ko abe apita kan court mbukala fuka diamu je bake because na ko bita kan court mbukala fuka diamu je bake so ku fulan jangolem ninga layout all design public space all katare school all ning other things all so ni me project proposal soto wala yo sifa soto ika apply le through the Department of Lands and Survey yela project ko ya justify ibe Gambian jelle employ la ibe ku all men beke la o school oto so ñim public space wol ni school wol men beje be lori wolle kama e wolle batun kam so ni momo e project ko soto me alonde school wolem health center lem mel be community nafala kana hesitate ila project proposal o feke eta ya submit Department of Lands and Survey so tol ba jibe la ni land be available public space holto so time olen kata na allocate so maybe mo samere ko time on physical planning wala my local government ka keno di mo la but project proposal lo le kasafe ha abar
moment wala ko ay kay to men sa bakka tan di mo na men sirin Salaji ko ay nyanta bulla jira wala masa kunda wala ta jira ko ale wata sutune dira men tata maji karoti mo wani lu wani seyo atata boy wala jira ko notice ni asociata baake ani funa jawo fa sindi chomen ka kay to nyimala ko o mari fatala aka mun na kay to nyin aliya foje ali sindi to ke de e alon ka mari matal
okay, abaraka bake sister ila nyini karoto. Nambra mabunda kan nakotake. Nko nanyun safle last year August 2024. They were served. Again, I mean for to yalam ne safle kotake on the 25th of this last March. Of the ne safle then on the 28th we embark on the demolition. Afoyo ko let the rest also. Whatever information on that notice served to them, we take the full responsibility. We sign it. Me I sign Amon Faba Niolale and he's still working with our department.
This row finishes now and then it's getting interesting as time is on. I'll give it to him and then we move to the next.
Good morning. My name is Usman Tara from KTV. I just wanted to make an inquiry for one of the affected individuals who is from the diaspora, and he wants to know with regards to the compensation, is every individual going to be compensated? And if that is the case, especially like for individuals who are in the diaspora and they have bought land from locals, let's say like somebody from Sokuta in the same area, in the same Salaji area, how is it like, will they be the ones will they be the ones to physically appear to seek for compensation, or they can delegate someone on their behalf to do the process for them?
Okay. Well, what I know in the side of compensation is directly dealing with the Kabilos. The Kabilos. We are not dealing with any individual. Here, there is a land that is acquired from the concerned Kabilo. So we are dealing with the Kabilo. If the Kabilo feel that somebody is representing them on behalf of the Kabilo, we deal with that person. Yeah. So we are dealing with the Kabilos, not individual. Comme quand for I mean ka for mo membe tamadula wo ni wo nyanta compensate la comme kenol men tata mobu wo mari be nyanto soto la nyaari ala kono nka mem senyandama wolem jang kenoni Salaji kenoni bota kabilo lebul so ni compensation obe kala abe compensate la kabilo lela.
Are they going to be compensated after the demolition, or they will be compensated before the demolition? No, what I mean, like the ones that are already inhabited.
Just to give you a little insight, like we said in the report, that the area has been inhabited partially and fully. and some people are even, living there for quite a while. But what we are doing right now, as part of the exercise, we have, like said, some of our staff notice. Even if you notice, some properties have only been demolished at the front, and the reason why it has not continued because there are some people inhabited in between those properties, and we need to observe the notices so that they make sure that some of their valuables can be removed. But like earlier you said, the ministry is dealing with kabilos, and there are different kabilos. So maybe the person from the diaspora must have bought from a third party, stuff like that, and that's another story. That will maybe come in the implementing strategy, how to go about it. Because this is a report, every report has a strategy, implementing strategy, how we go about it. And there are different factors to this strategy. We look at the emotional, the human side, and every aspect of life. So as a government, that's what we want to do. We're not here to destroy lives. We're here to, improve lives. So on that basis, we are looking at all strategies. Right now, it's a bit premature. That's what I'm saying. When a report comes out, you want to go into the details of the report. It's going to create a lot of problems and a lot of mind-boggling issues. So it's important now to listen, to digest the report, and we will have further press conferences, and then from there on, we can address other issues, especially when the other three reports are coming out. The layout, the all-government layout in 2017, that will detail a lot of issues. And you have the wetland also, which is a concern to some people, which will also detail a lot of issues. And because of those reports, we have come up with strategies. Like I said, the resettlement strategy, the resettlement action policies will come along those sides, so that to help those people within those boundaries to be relocated to areas, compensated well. So right now, as this new management team is concerned, and we've been helped by the World Bank to do a lot of reforms within the framework of what we have seen, within the legacies that we have seen at the ministry. So we want to bring the ministry to sanity. And to bring to sanity, you have to undo the wrongs. And that's what we're doing. So right now, in regards to other affected persons, the ministry is concerned, and the ministry will do the needful. We're not going to leave people just languishing like that. We'll do the needful to address some of these issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to add that, I'm coming. Just to add that, the report, soft copies are available. Help us, disaggregate them in the various local languages. If you have a supplementary question, contact us. Like I said, we have the access to information. So if the report is available, you get copies, go through it, make programs in it in the respective local language so that our people can understand. And if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to the government.
Yes. Last question.
Yeah. Soft copies will be available. Yeah, those are give chance to others. We are running out of time gradually because you have to go back to editorial.
My name is Morgan Balan from Sunrise Arabic Media. My question is there any plans to digitalize lands and constructions to avoid misunderstanding in the future? And then, did the land occupants have any legal permits to build from physical plans or any other authority?
Your first question.
Okay. I think you asked a very important question. Currently, I can tell you, the two directors on a consultation outreach to different regions. We are trying to create a land policy for the first time. And also the Giraffe project is helping us to digitalize our mapping and the system. Currently, Giraffe is fully supporting the Department of Lands and Survey and Department of Physical Plan. It's a 3 years project, and it has started, and we are very happy to see such kind of project. And the question that because it's a challenge, it's a daily challenge to us. So surely very soon we will see something like that.
Just to add to what he said, like you said, the issue of digitalization. Currently, with the help of the bank, we have a consultant who's working on the land information systems. And this is all part of the digitalization process, because part of the process in terms of the reforms we're doing, we also have to do the legal frameworks, because there are a lot of laws that need to be reviewed in terms of the legal framework. And also the communication strategy is also undergoing, so that we can communicate better with the people outside. So these are some of the major reforms that we think that they are lacking within the ministry. To digitalize recordings is the way you can sit at the touch of a finger, you can have all the details you want. And also we're working at the geodetic mapping also to make sure that we can know these spaces are available. Then after we talk about the land policy also is a key to all of that. That will lead to the cadastral mapping. The cadastral mapping will do the zonings so that we know, because we're still using the old master plan, which is archaic right now, because actually if you look at the master plan vis-a-vis what is the land use plan on the ground, they are totally diverse. They don't speak to each other. So on that basis, that's why we're working on this land policy. And the land policy is ongoing. Now they're on consultations. They have gone district, regional, and state, so they're going around to make sure the consultations, and by June, we'll do the validation exercise where everybody, all the donors, we have circulated the document everywhere, so that this will lead. This is the catapult to the success that we are actually trying to get. Thank you.
Yes. Last question.
Second question. Did the land occupants have any legal permit or permit to build from fiscal plans or any other authority?
Okay, thank you very much. As we are currently on the matter, we don't receive any information of that nature, of that kind within that area. If there's any, we'll be very glad to receive that from them.
Last question.
Yes. Last question, and then we give chance to the others who do not ask. We give chance to the gentleman, and then we close for this. We have to start wrapping up for editorial work.
Okay, my name is Mustafa. BRIEFS TV, Gambia. Okay, the laptop meeting is progressive. Okay, because you don't need the receiving particular order. Can understand? Okay, at all, I'm not complaining. The man telling me I am concerned about the official plan. I didn't be for them. The man I'm concerned. Okay, because when you be more than the element of don't be care about it. Don't be don't look at school because of when the work. Don't be right now. One eating one letter, one quarter letter. You understand? So they left a many color. Are there any document me and go? Are they compensate? Are they close at the contract goal? Listen. Or are they kind of me and go? Are they compensate? Are they close at the bank? Are they contract? So laptop like with the simple. And then secondly, Yemi Vala Carola, Wellingara, Alta Tenolta, and Ye boy, Nali boy, okay, now I'll buy in stone, and go, so I got like I go to the dal.
Okay, thank you very much, Mbadina. Abraka Bakela, in Karoto. Coming here, more from for coming Cavo, Elaborato Lurin Bontale, Dunobara Caramoto, let's say they are homeless to a degree. Mbafre, Sapo Bonimoli. Woman contra from no Wisti, and Saloko, Bintobolo and Damindo, Sama Dolevataraji, Kunufran Dolebeji. If you are in the position, you have to take the responsibility, whatever entails with that responsibility. So, Abenyaming, it coming for about the issue of the compensation on DPS Afajane at our ministerial level. They are working with the Department of Lands and Survey. Inventory basically, they also prepare a report. The affected people, they are living in that place, so that whatever should come next, they will actually be put into consideration.
Is it final question? No? Yes.
Sorry. No, like, okay, sorry.
Yeah, government is there a procedure. So you don't need man sakunda ko nibe banta man sinete amero ko yetere la nyame. No nibe banta abuka fike. Ni karo. Ngama ajabil.
Okay, no, la familia na wala ko yo ko mo me mo ya mi ya ngo yo do ko man sakunda so ya. Gigani to do ka wulu. Mo le bien bo ya doctors, lawyers, lawyers, journalists, siri ni ko woni yaga ke wa mo le ani merol bon malum jumale mali be ni dole so mo do be ikala mele ko ni da be sira ya Allah ya ba le ko ni imam do mi ando ay ko mi so ni ko mo le popo mo le nyam sinala ba mo ya no ko right now they are all the ex teachers
no brother comme abe nyami mo buka mo la mind control no min min to ka yeni nen ka minna mbe jable wala na min lonje mbolo fole itla jeroto fine isen wolo jibe ko nyoko is black so that say ko is black no ni ko nyoko is black ita mi black ni daje as white mba fa white lam so te rumit la opinion old at our level in some fono mbolo fole if you need any further information on that aspect you will still have an opportunity to go to the ministry or the Department of Lands and Survey to furnish you with those information, please.
Yes. Last question, last question, please.
Okay.
Please.
Ala baraka bake en kachabe tente na en kamansa kunda finansoro jumalungo me alon ko mol sina katente kali ala fo nyame nyinku mate bake mbele tamo nyi bankoti kacha ku mate optimo sanji tanko ma nyimbuka ke so ninku ke damba sinka kacha abete atale inon kanyoso hakilo la jorinyal manke kili bare mbele tam gambiati ala baraka al nata jan nyim kacha be continue la le komi nga fo nyame report bi jan journaliste sol ne nyin karo ke ale nyin karo ko mansa kunda bundal be rinne comme ya fo nyame ni kabila nyaton ko be kacha le kacha be tenten nale so bun
Yes.